So in this video, we will see how to enter the patrons details. Patrons mean users details in Koha system. In Koha, the patrons means users. So normally users are named in Koha as patrons. So when you are going to register a user in the system, you have to go to the patron module. And not only that, even though if you want to uh, give a permission to a person who are working in the library to operate the Koha system, for that also you have to create an account. So for that also you have to use the same patron module. I will show you both one by one. So first we will see how to enter a user in the patron module. Now click the patron module. Then you click the new patron. Then you have to choose your patron category, that means user category. Say if you are going to enter a executive staff, then choose the executive staff category. Then you will get a registration form, right? So first one is solution. You have to set whether the Mr. or Mrs. So example I'm taking as a Mr. Then so it may be a surname, so it is required, so you must enter this surname. So I am putting my surname here, uh, right, and the first name, right. The next one is date of birth. For date of birth you have to enter in this format, that is date, month and year. So if you know the date and month, year, then you can you can enter the date, month, year in the same format. So like this you can enter, or otherwise you have to click this button, then you can choose from the calendar, right? So you can choose the month and you can choose the year, then you can select the date. That is also possible, right? Then initials, if you have any initial, you can put the initial. Say MN means you can put like this. If you have initial, you can add the initial in this column. Then gender, you have to select the gender. Then here you enter the address, right? So here I am entering the address here. Then city, state you can put Eastern or Western, like that. You can put the state, zip code, then the country. Then the phone number. Here also there are two phone number. If you have land phone number, you can put one as a land phone number, one for the mobile, or you can take a primary phone number as a land phone number. That is useful to get the contact information about the user. Now there's another address we call alternate address. Here this alternate address is used for say if someone will have some permanent address and temporary address, you can use the permanent address here and the temporary address will be here. So if they don't have temporary address, you can leave it as blank, no issue. The card number is very much important. So without card number, can't register the user in the system. So the card number in your case, it will be a EPF number. So give the EPF number. I'm giving like a small, for example, I'm giving a number. Next one is registration date. Here also you have to give the registration date. So if you are registering today, you don't need to give, automatically it takes the date that you are entering in the system. So otherwise you have to give the exact registration date. If you are going to backdate that one, then you have to manually enter it here. Expiry date you don't need, you can leave it as a blank because we automatically set the expiry date. So you don't need to give the expiry date, but if you want to set the expiry date manually, then you can give the expiry date here. Otherwise you can leave it as blank, right? This opaque note is normally used to give some information to the user. If you want to give some information from your librarian side, then you can type it here. For example, you can type it here, come and meet me, like that. Then once the user login in the opaque, then it will be displayed for them. So if you want, you can give this information to the user, otherwise you can leave it as blank. Similarly, the circulation note. So if you give some note here, when the user come to the circulation, it automatically displayed in the staff interface. So the staff who are going to do the circulation will understand this message, right? So those kind of note you can give here. Next one is opaque login information. That is, as I told you, there is a opaque. So in the opaque, user can log in using their username and password. So you have to define a username and password for a user in this form to log in the opaque. So we have to define that. For that you can use I think better you can use the staff card number as their user ID. It is easy. So please use the same card number as the user name. And you choose a default password, say 123 or whatever it is. You can use a default password. Then later the user can log in the system and they can change their password. There is a possibility to change their password. So you give that one, then you choose the correct department and the designation. You can type it here. Those kind of things you can type here. NIC number, you can type it here, right? So give you a NIC number, right? Then once everything is over, you can save it, right? Then you will go to the next page. You can see the information what you have entered. Again, you can recheck here whether you have entered the correct information. So if anything is wrong, you can edit. You can click the edit button and go back to the form. Then again you can edit this information and again you can save it, right? Then there is option. So if you made any mistake, you don't need to worry. You have to edit the information, right? So it will come to the detail page. So here you can see all the information of the user that you have entered. And the next one is, you can see here there is no photo for this user. So you can add a photo. So there are two options. You can click just here or you can add the photo. Otherwise, when you come here, automatically there is an option. You can see add button. So just click add button. Then you have to choose a file. So already you can scan and keep the file in your computer. Then you can choose the same photo of that particular person and you can put it here and upload. Sometimes it takes some time. So once you upload, the Patron image will come here. So if you want to change, again, when you place the cursor on the photo, there's a button edit. You can click that edit button and again you can change the photo. So this is all about entering a Patron. Now next I'm going to show you how to enter a staff who are going to work in Koha. Say if the person is going to work in Koha, then we have to create an account and we have to give a permission to that user to use the account. So again you have to go to the Patron as like in the previous, but here we have to choose library staff. Now normally we will give the permission to the library staff to use the system. So you choose library staff. Again you have to do the same thing, right? So I'm not going to type everything, right? You have to do all the work which I have explained in earlier, right? So enter all the information and give a number. Normally we are using another number, card number, or the staff number we can use. You can use a staff number or staff ID, or you can use any number. Here I'm using LS uh, to 1 like that, right? Then here also you can define the registration, otherwise you can leave it as blank, then automatically it takes the PDF. So again, here it is very much important, you have to give a username. So here also two options, you can define your own username, that means you can give a preferred username, or better, you can give the same name as the username. For example, here Ravi is the name, so I'm using same name as a username. So username is Ravi, then give a default password and save. Right, now again, if you want to add the image, you can add here, you can do all the information, but earlier we stopped at this point. For user, we don't do anything after this, but if the user is going to use the Koha system, then you have to go to more and click set permission, right? As I said, you have to give some permission for this user to use the Koha system. So here the first option is access to all librarian functions. So if you give this, then this user will act as a super user. Super user means he or she can do everything in the Koha system. So normally we don't give this to the normal user. This will be we will give to the super librarian. Only we will give this permission to the librarian or the administrator of the system. So don't give this to others. So if you want to give permission, then you can allow the staff to work. So first one you can see checkout check-in item. So this is important because if they want to do the circulation item, then you can tick this. Then staff access, allow viewing the catalog. This is you must click, otherwise they can't log in to the Koha system. So that's what here you can see required for staff login. So you must give this permission. If you don't give this permission, they can't log into the system. Next one is manage Koha administration setting. That means administration panel. Normally they don't need to do the administration work, so don't give this. Another one is add, modify and view patron information. This is you can give because they have to do some add and modification. Those things you can give. Set user permission, that means they can set other users permission. No need to do that because normally administrator will do this function, so you don't need to click that one. And next one is place and modify holds for the patrons. You can give this because they have to manage the holds made by the patrons, so you can give this permission. Edit catalog, this is also important, but here for the safety purpose you can remove this one. That means delete all item at once, right? So accidentally they may try to delete, so then you can remove it, this option, and you can allow all other option in this edit one. Manage patron fines, yes, that is also you can give, but you can remove this overwrite one because write off fines mean they can write off all the fines, so this should be done by the librarian, so other staffs no need to do these things, right? So normally acquisition we don't do, so don't need to give the acquisition work, so it will be given to the acquisition who are going to do the acquisition module. Then the tools, that is also you can allow because there are so many tools available in the Koha, so you can give the tools to permission to use the tools. Edit authorities, that is also important. They can able to edit the authorities. Manage serial subscription, they want to subscribe the manage serial, again you can give. If you want, you can remove this permission, delete an existing subscription, right? So those kind of things, for the safety purpose, you can uncheck, because they can't do anything. That means they can't delete the subscriptions. Allow access the reports, yes, that is important, but if you want, again, you can remove this, the delete SQL report, because accidentally they can delete the report, so you can remove it, that option. Allow staff members to modify the permission, usernames, password of other staff members. Normally we don't need to give this. This is for the administration purpose, so no need to give this one. Other Koha plugins list, of course they have to use, right? Patron Club, of course you can give that. Create and modify interlibrary loan requests, yes, if you want you can give that. This is self-check modules, no need, actually this can be done by the administrator. And manage stock rotation operations, so that is also done by the administrators or librarian. So I think this is enough for the normal system user. So while you are, after you are checking that, giving the permission, just save this. Now the person can log in to the system, and the person can use the system. I can show you. Now I am logging out from my account, and now I'm logging to the the user account. Now the system allows to log in. Now you can see there is no administration module, and other modules are not displayed here, because this person can only work on these modules, because we have only allowed these modules. Likewise, you can control the user in the Koha system, or you can give permission to different modules to different users to work on a particular modules in the system. So that's all about the Patron registration, and thank you for watching.